Hey guys, this is James with Fish Sticks TV, and this is a new channel basically on starting a saltwater aquarium, how to, and just going over reviews of product that I buy and watching this thing flourish over time. So I want to go ahead and let you guys know I am going to be building a 75-gallon saltwater tank, and I have the tank here now. It's brand new. But in this episode, I really want to go over the importance of the hobby. And it could sound disappointing, but I don't want it to sound disappointing. I want it to sound realistic. You know, when you start a car, you decide to buy a car and build a car as a hobby. You could buy parts, leave it in the garage, work on it as you can, and get to it and have it done in a few months or even a few years. With a saltwater aquarium, no matter what approach you take, everything's alive. So whatever approach you take, the tank is constantly changing and moving as you're upgrading and doing things to build your aquarium. And I want to let everyone know that the things that are involved in being in the hobby. A lot of people don't understand that when you have an aquarium, it's very important to know that there's a lot of steps that you should take, and it should be fun as you do it. So I'm going to go ahead and explain it like it's probably never been explained before on YouTube to give you a better example. The best way I can explain getting into saltwater is pretend that you're the mayor or the president. This tank is your community, is your state, is your city, okay? And your fish are your community or your people. And in order to keep them alive, healthy, happy, everything functioning properly, it's not as quick as, getting sand, getting the live rock, protein skimmer everything, putting water in it, and poof, there it is. There is patience with saltwater. Everything takes time. And the reason is it has to develop. So the first thing you really should do before you start a saltwater, again, pretend you're the mayor. You need to have a water treatment program. If you had a city, you have to have water. Same with saltwater. We have to have high quality water through a RODI system, some buckets for fresh water and mixed salt water to go in your tank. Because it's not once you put water in your tank and everything's fine. You have to top it off. You have to do water changes. Some people may argue with water changes, but that's another topic. You also need to know, to have a saltwater tank, you need a hospital. What happens if one of your fish gets sick? You have to put them in a quarantine tank. You have to be the police of your saltwater aquarium. What if you got fish in there that start fighting or hurting each other? Some fish are criminals. They need to go to jail, the quarantine tank, until they can figure it out or reintroduce them a different way, or maybe get rid of them altogether. You also need to have a lighting system, a decent lighting system. And of course, you've got to have a good sewer system. Let's face it, you can't have a city without a sewer system. And that would be called your sump, your filtration, whether it's biological or mechanical or both. And to do it right, these things cost money. And unfortunately, you guys may look at some of the prices and say, man, this is really expensive. And it is to run a city. It is expensive. I mean, the 75-gallon tank is probably going to cost me at least, when I'm done with everything, somewhere, I'm just taking a guess right now, in the $4,000 to $6,000 range. And you might say, no, it doesn't cost that much. I could do it way cheaper. I could do this, I could do that. And you may. But to do it a proper way, step by step, where your tank has longevity and it flourishes and it's nutrient, unfortunately, you're going to have to enjoy spending a little bit of money and having a lot of patience and doing it right. And I hate to say doing it right, because there is no right way or wrong way. You know, in saltwater, there's guys that have green thumbs, and they can, you know, simply say, hey, I got this tank. I've never done a water change. I've had it for a year, this and that. I've done everything kind of against the grain. And there are people that can do that, but they're not beginners. These guys got 10, 15, 20 years in the saltwater industry, and they really know what they're doing. And on top of it, they don't tell you that the tank's only going to last probably 2 or 3 years. They're going to break it down and do a bigger one or something like that. When you do it the right way, your tank's going to last, 10, 15 years or so. A lot of people don't understand that the fish live up to 20 years. There's tangs that live to 20 years. So when we're doing this hobby, it's not a quick 1 or 2 year thing. You're dealing with life. So you really got to enjoy it. You really got to be a slave to it. And that doesn't mean bad. That means you got to be enthusiastic with it. You got to wake up and want to do it. Everyone loves the saltwater look of the fish, and some people just can't do the husbandry on it. They can't do the maintenance on it. It gets overwhelming. And that's when the hobby, gets stressful, or it gets where the tank suffers. And a way to have that not happen as much, again, is to spend good money on medium to high quality products to make the journey a lot easier. Me personally, I would never buy a tank used. And the reason why is on Craigslist, there's a difference between a brand new tank, a 2-year-old tank, a 5-year-old tank, and an 11-year-old tank. They get cleaned out. You don't know what's in them. I know they say after 48 hours it dies, this and that. But the problem is you don't know if copper's been dosed in there. You don't know what's inside the silicone that is sucked into it, all the mistakes they've made in the past, and all the treatments they put in. You may have someone else's problem, unless you're a professional and you know what you're doing. And sometimes the professionals have a hard time with that. I bought this brand new, and a lot of things that I will get will be brand new. I won't buy eBay stuff or Craigslist stuff, used stuff. It's just there's too many chances for you to do something so right, and for your live rock that you got from a guy off Craigslist that has been dosed with copper and everything and just sucked in it and not cured properly or whatever. And those things really put your tank in a tailspin from the beginning. So in this show, I'm not going to do it right. I'm going to do it my way. And I want you guys to follow along on the journey my way and see how you like it. Maybe you'll build a tank along with me. But what I am going to do is I'm going to show you the best way it can be done, step by step, properly, taking time with patience, having the right equipment, and making it happen. You can buy all the right equipment you want and still have a lot of failure. And in this hobby, I do want to tell you, there's going to be failure. I don't care how good you are. The thing is, in saltwater, you want to be more successful at things than failure. You're going to go through failures. You're going to have fish die. You're going to have problems. You're going to have equipment break. Unfortunately, every piece of equipment that's made out there will fail on you at some point. You just got to know how to attack it, how to approach it, and how to prepare for it. You're FEMA. You have to watch out for natural disasters, from your tank over flooding, from a heater not working. You need to learn along the way a lot of tips and a lot of things. Like I said, you're the mayor, and you're going to learn how to run a sewer system for this, the plumbing. You're going to learn the heating. You're going to learn how to do water changes. You're going to have to learn how to run a hospital tank. you don't want to throw a fish in your tank, get ick, and now your tank has ick forever. I know there's treatments and this and that, but the only way you get rid of ick is to kill it. So, you'll learn those things. But the first thing that we're definitely going to do with this tank is we're going to get it drilled, and we're going to get it plumbed properly for overflow, and get ready for filtration and everything like that. But also, the first thing you should buy after your tank is definitely a RODI system. You need to have access to clean, pure, high quality water. That's one of the biggest keys, is high quality water. And if your water is high quality and your salinity, your salt is an awesome salt, you're ahead of the game. You're ahead of the game. If you buy live rock, spend the money, get good live rock shipped to you. So it's going to be 10 times more safe instead of coming from someone's house and you don't know what has happened to it, what's in it, what's died in it, what's been dosed on it, and things like that. We're going to go over a proper refugium or sump, if you will. Why I picked the refugium or sump I'm picking, why I picked the skimmer, why I picked the return pump, everything that I get, we're going to go over, we're going to unbox, we're going to have fun with. So, including the fish.